Terrified mail-order bride discovers incredible love when 6-year-old asks, "Will you be my mama?" Elena stepped off the bus in Maplewood, her heart pounding with fear and hope. The biting air contrasted sharply with the warmth of her dreams. She was a mail-order bride from Eastern Europe, a leap into the unknown. As she clutched her small suitcase, she felt the wary eyes of the townsfolk darting her way. Whispers of suspicion danced on the wind. But this was her fresh start. Tom was waiting for her, a rugged factory worker whose kind eyes reflected a lifetime of loss. He'd lost his wife but devoted himself entirely to his daughter, Lily, a spirited girl with wild curls and a smile that lit up the grayest days. "Welcome to Maplewood," he said, his voice warm and steady. Hope flared in Elena's chest. Maybe they could find something beautiful together. As days turned into weeks, Elena tried to fit into her new life. She cooked meals in the small, cramped kitchen of Tom's house, each slice of onion and simmering pot reminding her of the family she left behind. She hung Lily's drawings on the refrigerator, their bright colors glaring against the dull appliances. Yet, doubt crept in like a shadow. Pine trees swayed outside, mocking her with their stability, while she felt like a stranger in her own home. One quiet evening, as the sun dipped low, painting the sky with warm oranges and pinks, Lily turned to her with wide eyes. "Will you be my mama?" The question hung between them like a fragile thread, and suddenly, the world around Elena felt still. Joy crashed into a wave of fear. Could she be that? A mother? The tightness in her chest was almost unbearable. Tears burned her eyes as memories of home flooded back. Those she loved, the life she left behind. Then came the worries. Bills piled high on the kitchen counter, the whispers from neighbors who eyed her suspiciously as an outsider. One night, she overheard them in the grocery store. "What is she doing here, marrying a man like him?" They laughed, and the laughter cut deep. Elena recoiled, pulling away. Maybe stepping back would ease the burden on Tom and Lily. She didn't belong here, not really. Days turned into silent nights filled with tearful contemplation. Each laughter from Lily at the park echoed loneliness. Elena watched mothers and daughters bond, their smiles sharp against her own solitude. And yet, as a flickering candle in the dark, the love between her and Lily grew quietly, like a whisper of hope, breaking the silence. Then came the annual fall festival. Banners swayed in the breeze, and pumpkins lined the streets, the air buzzing with laughter. This place was alive, filled with people and possibilities. Elena stood at the edge, heart racing. Here was the chance to confront her fears. As she watched Lily dance with other children, her heart ached with longing. Tom's presence beside her felt grounded, yet burdened with unspoken fears too. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As the festival unfolded, laughter rang out. The glow of lights and food stalls painted a picture of warmth, but a shadow loomed. Tom faced mounting stress from financial struggles that threatened their budding family. The news he received was devastating. He looked torn, caught between his responsibilities and the weight of survival. Elena's heart raced. Would this event drive them apart? As Lily looked up at her again, pure innocence shining through her eyes, Elena hesitated. The question lingered, could she truly be more than an outsider? Could she be someone's mama? Just then, she overheard a conversation that pierced her heart with doubt. The choice loomed as she realized everything she wanted was teetering on the edge of collapse, both her resolve and the dreams she dared to build. Would she fight for the warmth of a love that felt so close yet so distant? Elena's heart raced with the mingled anxiety and excitement of the festival. Music floated through the air, mingling with the scent of caramel apples and roasted corn, but she felt a chasm of uncertainty within. The warmth and laughter around her were like a mirage, almost too far away to touch. Tom's weary expression kept intruding on her thoughts, gnawing at her spirit. How could she bridge the gap between uncertainty and belonging? With a deep breath, she turned to Lily, who was spinning in delight, the skirt of her dress twirling like a blooming flower. In that moment, Elena recognized the pure, unfiltered joy of childhood. Could she find a way to connect with that joy, to ignite it within herself? Overwhelmed, she knelt beside Lily, her voice barely above a whisper. Do you want to go on the Ferris wheel? Lily's eyes sparkled like the autumn sun as she nodded enthusiastically. They joined a giggling group of children moving towards the massive wheel. Tom lagged behind, burdened by his own struggles, a mix of pride and worry flickering in his eyes. Elena reached out, locking her gaze with him, hoping to share a silent vow of support. The Ferris wheel creaked as they climbed in their seat, and as they rose above the festival lights, the world below melted into a sparkling sea of color. Lily squealed, leaning out to catch the wind in her hair, her laughter mixing with the whir of the wheel. Elena felt her heart swell, the tightness in her chest loosening just a bit. Look, Mama! We can see everything. Lily's words twinkled in the breezed eye. In that moment, the dizzying heights felt like freedom. For the first time, Elena felt part of something bigger than her own fears. She reached for Lily, wrapping an arm around her, as if to keep that wonderful magic from slipping away. Yes, we can, she echoed softly, her words giving birth to a small flicker of hope. But as the wheel descended and they returned to solid ground, reality crashed back. Tom stood alone, his shoulders hunched, burdened. The laughter and light of the festival faded, leaving a stark truth: they were all hurting, each carrying their own load, and love wasn't simply a fairy tale, it was also a battle. The festival's energy dulled around her. Even surrounded by the revelers, she felt a deep-rooted loneliness. How could she be everything to Lily when her heart felt so fragmented? The neighbors' whispers lingered in her mind, a stark reminder of her outsider status. Yet Lily's gaze, full of trust and hope, urged her to push through the darkness. As they made their way through the dwindling crowds, something tugged at Elena's heart. She turned to Tom, searching for connection. We need to talk, she said, her voice steady, but her heart raced. Tom looked surprised, a flicker of hope sparking in his eyes. I know things are hard, she continued, her voice softer now. We can face them together. You, me, and Lily. Tom opened his mouth to speak but hesitated, the weight of his thoughts visibly heavy. Just then, a local vendor called out, offering a free lantern for the children to decorate. Lily's face lit up with excitement, and as they turned to join the other families, the tension around Tom seemed to shift just a little. I want to be here with you both, Elena said, her voice now stronger, her heart hopeful. It was a commitment, a pledge that she would do whatever it took to build this family, but inside, the storm of doubt still raged. Could she truly be what they needed? That question loomed large, the answer a distant dream. As laughter faded into the night, she felt Tom's hand brush against hers, their fingers barely touching but somehow connecting the cracks that threatened to break apart. The evening wore on as the lanterns filled the sky with lights, twinkling stars against the dark canvas of night. Elena's heart steadied, yet questions lingered. What would the next day, the next challenge, bring? As they stood together, watching their hopes flicker into the sky, she felt the pull of possibility wash over her. Love, she realized, wasn't just about feeling it but fighting for it, through every doubt and fear. And as the first lantern soared high, Elena knew this was only the beginning. What would it take to truly make a life together? The thought sent a thrill of anxiety through her, full of both hope and uncertainty, leaving her to wonder if she could truly be the mama that Lily longed for. The dawn broke slowly, painting the sky in soft hues of pink and orange, as if anticipating the unraveling of the day ahead. Elena woke to the sound of Lily's small voice drifting in from the kitchen. Her heart skipped a beat, remembering the previous night, the lanterns, the promise she made, and the weight of her uncertainties that never quite slipped away. She pulled herself from the warmth of her blankets and slipped into her robe. The house felt quieter than usual. Where was Tom? As she stepped into the kitchen, she found Lily perched on a chair, her legs swinging excitedly as she spread out colorful markers, paper, and glitter, a spectacle of creativity ready to burst forth. Tom, on the other hand, stood near the sink, his back to her, shoulders tense as he washed dishes. The sunlight streamed through the window, illuminating the droplets of water that he wiped away with quiet determination. Good morning, sunshine, Elena said, her voice bright, hoping it would infuse some warmth into the atmosphere. Mama! Look at my art project! Lily exclaimed, drawing Elena's gaze as she proudly showcased a piece of paper splashed with rainbow colors. Wow! It's beautiful! she said, kneeling beside her daughter. What's it for? It's for you and Daddy. A surprise. Lily beamed, her grin contagious. For a moment, the comfort of their connection wrapped around Elena. She let out a breath she didn't know she was holding. Tom turned then, the expression on his face cryptic, shadowed by yesterday's worries. Morning, he managed, but it felt strained, as if both of them were standing on shifting ground, unsure if it would hold. Do you have any plans today? Elena asked, her voice casual but hopeful. Just some errands, Tom replied, looking back down at the dishes. Mind if I join? She pressed gently, wanting to be part of his day, to weave their lives together more tightly. He glanced up, his eyes searching hers. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't want you to be stuck. I'm not stuck, she interrupted, a touch of resolve in her voice. I want to be with you, Tom. Lily, sensing the heaviness in the air, jumped back in. Let's go to the park after. We can play games. Elena could see the spark in Tom's eyes at the mention of the park, a flicker of what could be a glimpse of a family day together. But his smile faded as the day-to-day struggles slipped back into view. I don't know. Tom trailed off, the weight of finances and responsibilities felt heavy in the room. Let us not let them hold us back, Elena urged, her heart racing. We can take little steps together. Building a life, you know? Tom sighed, eyes flicking to Lily, who was now engrossed in her art, his expression softening slightly. Okay, let us try, he finally said, a tentative hope inching into his voice. Lily squealed, yay! We're gonna have fun. Her laughter filled the space, brightening the shadows lingering over Tom. For the first time in days, Elena felt a sliver of assurance. As Elena helped Lily gather her art supplies, she glanced at Tom, willing him to meet her gaze. He did, the tension slowly easing between them. A soft smile exchanged, unguarded yet cautious, a promise of something more. The park loomed ahead, vibrant with laughter and sunlight, a world alive with possibilities. Just then, as they walked hand in hand, a thought flitted through Elena's mind. Was the love she fought for here? Did that wild hope she felt in the depths of her heart have roots here too? The uncertainty still lingered, clawing at the edges of her mind. Yet, in the moment, she allowed herself to dream of what they might build together, brick by brick. And then it struck her. What would it mean to be a real family? The question hung in the air as they entered the park, her heart pounding with anticipation and a lingering fear. Could they weather the storms instead of simply surviving? With the sun shining brightly above, the real journey was just beginning. The laughter of children echoed around her, but deep within her, Elena knew that the battle for love was far from over. What awaited her as they ventured deeper into their shared future? Elena took a deep breath as they stepped onto the path lined with cherry blossom trees. The blossoms danced gently in the wind, scattering delicate petals like confetti. For a moment, she lost herself in their beauty, hoping the serenity would wash away the unease that still clung to her heart. Look, Mama! It's a fairy tree! Lily squealed, pointing excitedly at the twisted branches swaying above them. Elena laughed softly, feeling a warmth spread inside her. It sure is, Lily. Fairies must be having a party up there. Tom's lips curled into a soft smile, and she felt a flicker of hope ignite. Perhaps today was indeed the start of something new. They found a spot on the grassy knoll, where families spread blankets and laughter echoed across the park. As Lily settled down to show Tom her artwork, Elena marveled at how effortlessly they fell into small moments of joy. It warmed her to witness them both share in something so sweet and innocent. As they played, Elena felt a nagging doubt tugging at the edge of her thoughts. She watched as Tom engaged with Lily, his laughter rich and genuine. But still, the cracks formed by worry lingered between them. The moment felt perfect, but it could shatter at any time. She needed to address the elephant in the room. Tom, she began slowly, unsure of how to bridge the gap. What do you think our future looks like? With everything going on, he paused, glancing at Lily, who was now lost in her imaginative play. I want things to be better, really. But responsibilities, bills, they weigh on me. I know, Elena replied softly, moving closer to him. But we can do this. Together. He looked at her, uncertainty clouding his expression. You always say that, but what if we fail? What if I can't provide? You deserve so much more. Lily turned, her blue eyes wide, curious. What does provide mean? Like food? We have food. Elena chuckled while Tom's shoulders relaxed a fraction. Exactly. We have food, we have a home, and we have each other, she replied, reaching for Tom's hand. The touch felt electric, a promise wrapped in warmth. Yes. And Daddy, you make the best pancakes. Lily chimed in, bouncing on her seat. The joy in her voice was a balm for their tension. Tom squeezed Elena's hand, the familiar spark reigniting hope. I guess it's the little things that matter most, he murmured, his eyes never leaving hers. The laughter of children and chirping of birds created a backdrop, a reminder of what life could be, a blend of chaos, comfort, and joy. Lily climbed onto Tom's back, asking for a ride, and soon their little family was intertwined, laughter lifting off into the lavender sky. Just then, a family walked by, chatting and laughing. Elena barely listened until a little girl, perhaps Lily's age, looked up at her father and said something that struck Elena's core. Daddy, will I be able to love Mama forever? Elena's heart thudded loudly in her chest. That simple question hung in the air, laden with all the unwritten promises, the longing for connection, the fear of loss, the hope for a future. Tom turned to look at her, his gaze searching again. Elena could feel the weight of that innocent but heavy question resonating deep within her. Would they find a way to become that forever family they longed to be? The laughter continued to surround them, but inside, things felt precarious, like the balance was shifting. What if I say yes to forever? She thought, her heart racing. But just as resolve began to take shape, the little girl's words echoed in her mind. Could she boldly embrace that kind of love, that kind of vulnerability? As the moment hung there, suspended, they gave each other a soft, yet understanding smile. But the question lingered, pulsing between them like a heartbeat, demanding an answer. With the park humming around them, Elena realized the true adventure was not just about today, it was what lay ahead, wrapped in uncertainties. Would they dare to leap into the unknown, together? And as the sun cast its golden rays, the question remained, what would it mean to truly love and be loved, even if it scared her to the core? Elena could feel the sun warming her skin. It felt like a gentle reminder of the day's promise, and here, surrounded by familial laughter, there was a sense of safety, the kind that softens old wounds. But doubt still throbbed in her chest, mingling with the bright energy vibrating around her. Lily, how about we find a big cherry blossom to climb? Tom suggested, his voice brightening with enthusiasm. Can we, Mama? Lily asked, her eyes sparkling with hope. Absolutely. Elena replied, the thrill of adventure bubbling within her. As she stood, she brushed her fingers over the soft petals, reminding herself that beauty could still flourish in chaotic times. They walked toward a tree, its branches heavy with blossoms, drawing Lily close as they admired its grandeur. Elena watched as Tom helped Lily climb onto a lower branch. The joy on their faces, the warmth that radiated between them, was infectious. With each giggle and squeal, Elena felt her worries melt away. She wanted this moment to stretch, to be a shield against the uncertainties looming in the back of her mind. Look, Mama! I'm so high! Lily beamed from her perch, her hair swirling in the wind like the petals fluttering around them. Tom looked up, pride shining in his eyes. Just don't go too far, or I'll have to rescue you. Super Daddy to the rescue! Lily squealed, but as laughter enveloped them, a shadow crossed Elena's heart. Something was still missing. She felt it, this need for clarity, for commitment. Could they truly move forward, or were they just dancing on borrowed time? Each shared moment was a reminder of the fragility of happiness. Hey, can you give me a hand, too? Tom called to Elena, breaking her reverie. Sure. She stepped closer, wrapping her arms around the trunk to give him stability as he crouched down. He looked back at her, his expression serious for a moment, as if sensing her turmoil. Is everything okay? He asked quietly, his words laced with concern. Elena nodded, offering a weak smile. Just thinking. Thinking what? That I want us to be okay, to really be okay. She glanced at Lily, who was now pretending to be a brave adventurer. But what if we still stumble? What if we fail? Then we pick ourselves up, he said firmly. We can't control everything, but we can be together through it all. His words sank in like a soothing balm. The warmth of his hand brushed hers again, sparking that familiar connection. But still, hesitation lingered. What do we do if we want different things? She challenged gently. Tom leaned closer, their faces almost touching. What if we want the same thing, but we're scared to admit it? The implication hung heavily between them. Would they both admit that they wanted more? They were skating on the edge of something profound, but the risk felt monumental. Lily clapped her hands, breaking the intensity. Look, look! The petals are falling like snow. She spun beneath the tree, laughter spilling out like music. In that moment, a flicker of hope ignited within Elena. Maybe it wasn't about the certainty of the future. Perhaps it was about the strength to face the unknown together, hand in hand, heart to heart. As they joined Lily in the swirling petal dance, a thought echoed in Elena's mind. What if admitting their fears was just the first step towards something beautiful? What if love, messy and unpredictable, was the real adventure? But just then, Elena spotted an envelope half buried in the grass. Something about it felt like a sign. The address written in bold letters sent a shiver of anticipation through her. Tom, look! She exclaimed, reaching down to grab it. What is it? He asked, his brow furrowing with curiosity. Before she could reveal it, she felt a jolt of anxiety. What would it lead to? Would it provide clarity, or dive them further into uncertainty? As she tore it open, she held her breath, knowing that whatever she found on that paper could change everything. What would it reveal about their journey? Elena's hands trembled slightly as she unfolded the crisp envelope. The scent of ink and paper hit her nostrils, momentarily stirring up memories of letters exchanged long before email had taken over their lives. She glanced at Tom, whose concerned eyes mirrored her own agitation. What's in there? He urged gently. Let us find out together, she replied, feeling the weight of their combined curiosity. As she scanned the paper, the world around them morphed into a backdrop. The cherry blossoms rustled, the laughter of Lily dulled to a faint echo, and all that mattered was the inked words before her. Dear Elena, it started, the handwriting elegant but unfamiliar. We need to talk. There are matters that cannot wait. Please come to the office tomorrow at 10 a.m. Sincerely, J. Her heart raced, confusion flooding her veins. J? Who was J? And what could possibly be so urgent? Tom leaned closer, eyes narrowing on the page. What does it say? I don't know. It's someone named J. Maybe it's about your past? He took a breath, considering. You haven't been in touch with anyone, have you? Elena shook her head. No. Nobody knows where I am. I'm just happy to be here. Then why reach out now? The sincerity in his voice spurred an uneasy pit in her stomach. It felt like the ground was shifting beneath her feet. Maybe it's about unfinished business? A reminder of what I thought I left behind? She frowned, lost in thought as the innocence of their perfect day began to feel tainted. Lily spun around, now noticing the tension. What's unfinished business? Her bright eyes searched for answers and they both exchanged glances, torn between wanting to shield her from the weight of adulthood and the truth. It's just some old stuff, sweetheart, Tom reassured her. Elena hoped her voice sounded steady. It might not matter. We just need to be together, right? Yes. Lily squealed, her spirit unbroken. Can we go find ice cream now? Tom chuckled, visibly relieved by Lily's delight. Sure. Let us celebrate cherry blossoms in our own way. Still, as they strolled to their favorite ice cream shop, Elena couldn't shake the feeling that the letter held more than just casual chatter. Something about the urgency of the words nagged at the edges of her mind. Do you think Tom began, but faltered, glancing down? Think what? He sighed, his voice barely above a whisper. What if it's not just unfinished business? What if it's someone trying to get you to come back? Elena's heart twisted, fear encroaching. I can't go back, Tom. I can't, not after this. Then let us figure it out together, he said, squeezing her hand, warmth pooling in her chest. Together, they could face anything, right? But in the back of her mind, a nagging thought lingered. What if the past wasn't done with her yet? Later, as the sun began dipping below the horizon, painting the sky a wash of pink and orange, they sat on a park bench, ice cream melting in their hands. This is the best day ever, Lily declared, chomping happily on her cone. Yes, it is, Elena echoed, forcing a smile, though anxiety twisted her insides like a knot. She caught Tom's gaze, feeling an unspoken agreement between them. They had to confront whatever this letter meant. Just ahead, the branches of a cherry blossom dipped in a soft breeze, fluttering like whispers of secrets long held. What if it's not just the past? Tom said suddenly, catching her off guard. What if it's about your future as well? What if Jay wants to turn your life upside down again? His words created ripples of unease inside her. She took a deep breath, determination rising within. Then we'll face it together, she said resolutely, her heart hammering with the thrill of possibility. But just as her spirit began to lift, another realization struck her. Was that uncertainty enough to keep them whole? Or would shadows from her past threaten to eclipse everything they had forged? She glanced back at the envelope, feeling its weight in her pocket, wondering if the truth it contained would solidify their bond or shatter it. Would she be ready for whatever awaited? Elena sat quietly on the park bench, the remnants of her ice cream forgotten, growing increasingly aware of the weight of the letter still nestled in her pocket. The laughter of Lily and the playful wind brushing against the cherry blossoms felt distant. Her heart raced, a cacophony of doubts clouding her thoughts. Can I have a bite, Mama? Lily asked, her bright eyes sparkling with innocence. The term caught Elena off guard. She smiled gently, offering her forgotten cone. As Lily giggled and savored her treat, a warmth washed over Elena. This was her family, her new world. Still, the specter of the letter loomed, reminding her of fractured pieces of a life she thought she had escaped. Tom, reading the tension in her posture, leaned closer. Elena, I know things feel shaky right now, but I'm here for you. He reached for her hand again, a simple gesture packed with love and trust. We'll figure this out. You're not alone in this. His unwavering support sent a shiver of comfort through her. I appreciate that, really. But what if this changes everything? She met his gaze, fear and vulnerability swirling in her chest. Then we adapt. We navigate those changes as always together, he replied, sounding firmer with every word. Just like you faced your fears before. I believe you can handle whatever Jay wants. Her heart thumped harder. But what if Jay isn't as benign as you think? Tom exhaled, drawing in the faint scent of cherry blossoms. Maybe so. But you fought your past, haven't you? Why not keep fighting for your future? Elena closed her eyes for a moment, feeling the weight of his words. How many times had she practiced moving on, building a new life from the fragments of the old? But was she truly ready to bulldoze into the unknown, especially when doubt had a way of creeping back into her mind? Suddenly, Lily hopped off the bench, her energy infectious. Race you to the swings! She shouted, dashing ahead. They both laughed, relief momentarily chasing away the tension as they watched her skip away, carefree and vibrant. Elena turned to Tom. She deserves the best. I want to be that for her. You are that for her. Just as much as I am, he reassured, gently squeezing her hand. Whatever happens, you're already doing it. You're a great mom and partner. Elena could see the quiet strength reflected in his eyes, yet she was haunted by the uncertainty cloaked in that letter. Was she the woman he believed in? Could she be strong enough to confront what was coming? All right, tomorrow I'll go see Jay. But I have to know, what if it's bad, Tom? What if it tries to drag me back down? He paused, weighing her fears. Then we'll confront it. Rise above it. And if it threatens us? He held her gaze steady. We will fight. Those words struck a chord deep within her. A sense of power surged through her. With renewed resolve, Elena nodded. Okay. We'll do this. Together, no matter what. Just as the sun dipped entirely behind the horizon, casting shadows that melded into twilight, Tom's phone buzzed in his pocket. He pulled it out, glancing at the screen. Speaking of confronting the past, he muttered, an expression of uncertainty replacing his earlier confidence. Who is it? Elena asked, her stomach twisting. Just a friend, he replied, his voice tight, unsure. I have to take this, it might be important. She watched him step away, the weight of the unspoken looming over her. As she stared into the distant lights of the city, her mind raced. What if the unexpected message changed everything again? And deep within, a fear suddenly unfurled. Would tomorrow bring clarity or a reckoning? Elena watched Tom walk a few steps away, his posture tense against the soft glow of dusk. Goosebumps prickled her skin. She could see him scrolling through the message, his brow furrowing deeper with each passing second. A weight hung in the air, thick with unvoiced concerns. Lily, lost in her own world of laughter and swings, called out to her. Mama! Come push me higher. The childless joy was a beacon of innocence that wrapped around Elena, tugging her from the shadows of her worries. But even as she stood to join her daughter, the letter in her pocket felt heavier. She approached Lily, the little girl's laughter sparking a flicker of light inside her. Hold on tight, Elena said, pushing her daughter lightly. Lily squealed with delight, her tiny hands gripping the chains as she soared upwards, not fearing the falls that might come. Elena couldn't help but smile, a softening of the turmoil within her. She was a mother. She was supposed to be strong. Still, doubt seeped in like the twilight. Could she be the strong woman Tom believed her to be? As she turned to look at Tom, she found him still on the phone, his face pale, drained of the warmth it usually radiated. A knot formed deep in her chest. She tiptoed away from the swing set, wanting to give him privacy, yet feeling that urgent need to understand what was unfolding. Are you okay? She called out softly. He looked up, his eyes caught between something heavy and something else she couldn't read. Yeah. I just need a moment. His voice trembled slightly, enough to send apprehension skimming through her. The relationship she had built with him felt fragile, much like the cherry blossoms that danced overhead. What if this call shattered it? As she watched him, she lost track of time, each tick of the clock echoing louder than the last. Lily continued to swing, her laughter making position for the tension growing between them. Soon, Tom hung up and took a deep breath, running a hand through his hair. Elena approached him, feeling the weight of the world shift. What's going on? He hesitated, the air thick with unspoken words. That was a mutual friend of mine. He has some information about Jay. Elena's heart plunged. What kind of information? Tom stepped closer, lowering his voice. He thinks Jay might not be who you think. There are whispers. Elena thinks about his connections that could be dangerous for you, for us. The ground underfoot felt unsteady. A chill ran down her spine. All her resolve shifted, and the fear she tried to push down bubbled back up. Dangerous? What does that mean? I'm not sure yet, but we need to be cautious. Elena nodded, her instincts kicking in. This was no longer just about her. This was about protecting her child and navigating the shadows that still lingered over her past. Then we need a plan. Tom took her hands in his, grounding her in his warmth. Whatever it takes, we'll face it together. Silence fell between them, the weight of his promise enveloping her momentarily, but somewhere in her chest, a flame flickered. Clarity would come, even if it was wrapped in shadows. Tomorrow loomed, full of threats and the unknown. As they both turned to look at Lily, who was laughing and swinging higher into the open sky, a thought struck Elena's mind. Would she truly be able to embrace her fears or let them cage her again? With remnants of doubt trailing behind, the first step beckoned. She needed to confront the truth, both about Jay and herself. What awaited her on the other side of that confrontation? The sun would rise again, but for what purpose remained uncertain. The reckoning was near. The sun rose reluctantly over the horizon, casting a grayish hue across the morning. Elena awoke tangled in her sheets, her mind racing with thoughts of the night before. Tom's voice echoed in her ears, the urgency of his words still fresh and unsettling. She slid out of bed, careful not to wake the sleeping Lily who lay sprawled comfortably in her little bed nearby. The kitchen felt cold and empty as she poured herself a cup of coffee. The rich aroma filled the air, even as the weight of uncertainty clung to her. She had to act. Tom was right, they needed a plan. But what could she do without putting her daughter at risk? "Mommy, is it morning yet?" Lily's sleepy voice interrupted her thoughts. The little girl blinked away the remnants of sleep, rubbing her eyes. "Almost, pumpkin," Elena said, forcing a smile. "How about some breakfast?" Lily's face lit up. "Can we have pancakes?" As the sweet smell of pancakes filled the kitchen, Elena tried to push through the rising tide of anxiety. Each sizzle on the griddle became a reminder of the walls closing in around her, but her daughter's laughter broke through. The sound was a constant reminder that love existed even in the chaos. Once breakfast was finished, they settled at the table. "Mama!" Lily exclaimed as she finished her stack. "Can we go to the park today? I want to swing some more." Elena nodded, but her heart wasn't fully in it. "Sure, sweetheart, but maybe we should stay close to home today. Just in case." The little girl's brow furrowed. "But why?" Elena paused, searching for words that wouldn't frighten Lily. Sometimes adults have things to deal with, and it's best to be safe. The innocence in Lily's eyes made her heart ache. Her world should be full of swings, laughter, and unlimited possibilities, not shadows of past mistakes and present dangers. As they washed the dishes together, Elena's phone buzzed on the counter. Her pulse quickened when she saw Tom's name flashing across the screen. She took a deep breath before answering. "Hey, is everything okay?" "Hey, we need to meet. It's about Jay." His voice was firm, a stark contrast to the chaotic softness of morning at home. "Can you come here?" she offered, desperate to shield her daughter from the growing storm. "No, I can't. It's too risky right now. I'll meet you in the cafe down the block." "Half an hour." The line went dead, leaving her staring at her phone like it might offer more clarity. Her stomach twisted, but a flicker of determination rose up. She had to know more. "Lily," she called, forcing confidence into her tone, "we're going on an adventure." "Yay!" Lily bounced in her chair, her eyes sparkling. Elena glanced down the street as they walked, familiar sights seeming surreal. The warmth of the sun was a stark contrast to the tension coiling in her chest. She held Lily's hand tightly, making sure she could feel her daughter's stability, anchoring her against the tide of uncertainty surging within. As they approached the cafe, her heart hammered against her ribs. Elena spotted Tom sitting at a corner table, his shoulders steeped in worry. She steeled herself for the conversation ahead, for the revelations that would either destroy or reveal the truth she so desperately needed. Her mind raced through scenarios, but nothing could prepare her for what Tom would say next. With a final glance at Lily's hopeful face, she stepped inside, ready to face whatever shadows lingered in the depths of their lives. What truths lay buried there, just waiting to be unearthed? Would she be ready to confront them, no matter the cost? Elena crossed the threshold into the cafe, her heart thundering like a drum. The warmth of the shop enveloped her, but the overwhelming chill of uncertainty crept along her spine. She spotted Tom at the corner table, his gaze lost, deep in thought, a cup of lukewarm coffee forgotten at his side. She squeezed the hand of her little girl, who danced around her like a firefly, full of innocent joy and unawareness. "Mama, can we get chocolate muffins?" Lily chirped, eyes sparkling. "Yes, of course, sweetheart," Elena replied, forcing a smile. But inside, a whirlwind churned, and all she could think about was the impending confrontation with the shadows of her past. Thomas' head shot up as she approached, worry etched in the lines of his face. "Thanks for coming," he said quietly, a tension threading through his voice. She settled into the seat opposite him, the bustling cafe a blur as her focus zeroed in on Tom. "What do you know about Jay?" she pressed, trying to keep her voice steady. Tom leaned in, lowering his voice. "There have been rumors, he has been involved in some questionable things. People say he may not have your best interests at heart," he said, his words hanging heavy like smoke in the air. Elena's stomach dropped. "What kind of things?" The fear of her past creeping closer sent a shiver down her spine. Associations with dangerous individuals. Some people think he might be after more than just you, he might be after something leverage-related. Her heart raced as she processed his words. Thoughts of the life she left behind clawed at her mind. The shadows didn't just linger, they were growing darker. I can't go back there, Tom. I can't let him in. I have Lily now. I'm scared he'll come after me because of the choices I made, she whispered, her voice trembling. Tom reached across the table, taking her hand in his. The warmth of his grip ignited a flicker of strength inside her. But you're not alone anymore. We'll face this together, he said, determination hardening his features. Just then, the cafe door swung open, and the bell jingled, drawing Elena's attention. Her breath caught as a figure entered, silhouetted against the bright light. It was soaked in an air of authority, a tall man with a familiar face. Elena felt her skin prick with unease. Tom, that's him. Stay calm, Tom urged, but she could see the tension in his jaw. The door swung closed, sealing off the outside world and trapping them all within the walls of uncertainty. Jay approached their table, a confident smile plastered on his face, shades of charm masking darker intentions. Elena, there you are. I've been looking for you. We need to talk, he said, his eyes glinting with an unsettling eagerness. About what? Elena asked, her heart racing as she fought against the urge to flee. About your future. You've got some unfinished business to handle, and I can help you with that, he replied, his tone smooth, but there was an underlying menace in his words. What business? I don't owe you anything, Elena snapped, feeling the protective instinct for Lily surge within her. She didn't want Lily anywhere near this man. Come on, Elena. You know I can help you, he said, leaning into her space as if to unweave her resolve, his eyes searching hers. No. You don't understand. I have a new life. I'm happy. I don't need you. She fired back, pulling tightly against Tom's hand, Tom's fingers entwined with hers, a tangible reminder she was not alone. She said no, he stated firmly, his voice cutting through the tension. J's expression darkened. Are you sure about that? Because people don't just start fresh without consequences. Let us get out of here, Tom urged, pulling Elena to her feet. She readily obliged, gripping Lilia's hand tightly as Tom guided them away from the table, away from the threat looming like a storm cloud. As they exited the cafe, fresh air engulfed them, but the weight of J's intentions clung to her lungs. They made their way down the street. The simple act of putting one foot in front of another became a powerful defiance against fear. Is he going to come after us? Elena asked, glancing at Tom, her eyes wide with concern. I don't know, but we'll be ready if he does. We'll figure this out together. You don't have to face him alone, he replied, determination flooding his voice. Lily tugged on Elena's hand, oblivious to the turmoil edging around them. Can we go see the swings now? I want to fly high. Elena looked down at her daughter, the embodiment of joy and hope. Of course, we can. In that moment, as they walked toward the park, Elena realized something had shifted within her. She knew it would be a long fight to confront the darkness that trailed her, but she would embrace it. She didn't have to be a victim anymore. With love and support by her side, she would be brave. Facing the uncertainty ahead, she took Tom's hand, felt the warmth connect them, and resolved to promise herself and Lily the freedom of fighting for whatever came next, because now, they would do it together. Embracing that truth, they entered the park, ready to forge ahead into the unknown, into a future bathed in the bright light of possibility and love reborn. And now is the moment for you to take action. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss out on the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and show your support. Every click counts. Comment below with your reactions and feelings about this ending. I want to hear your thoughts, and don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Your support matters, and together, we can grow this amazing community.